Hello everybody, what is going on? Today I'm going to do the long-awaited World Seeker tutorial, or guide, I guess, more of. I've been playing World Seeker since the beginning of the game, since before it was released, long before it was released. It's changed a lot since then, but it's definitely for the better, and the class is in a really good spot right now. And regardless of what a lot of people think, I think the class is definitely a very viable class right now, and I hope that I can change everyone else's mind on that as well. So let's get straight into it. Some basic things I'm going to cover are build crafting, just basic build crafting, what you can do with it, what base classes you can use, stuff like that. The next thing I'm going to cover is basic combos, just things you're going to want to use, things you're going to want to be putting on rotation when you get people in these combos, and it's going to be a lot of your damage. Dagger is heavily combo reliant because they do obviously the least M1 damage, and they have the least cooldown, like for the most part, the lowest cooldowns. So they'll definitely want to be putting people in combos on rotation, waiting for those, getting those off, because that's the majority of your damage. And then the last thing I'll be talking about is just some more advanced tips, tech, if you will, that will really help you go a step above in battle. It'll really put you above some other players, and you'll really notice a difference on how you used to play and how you'll play after watching this video. So let's get straight into it. So first things first, if you're going the actual Ultra World Seeker, obviously you get everything in my hotbar, as you can, not everything in my hotbar, now everything in my hotbar, as you can see here. And then you also get this move, and you get Gut Strike, right? This is everything. So basic, rundown if you've never played the game or you're not very experienced. Slice is a little barrage of slashes. Gut Strike's a little leap into a thing that bleeds. Divine Punishment. A lot of people don't know this, but if you hit Divine Punishment, M2 after you land it, and it knocks down. The blue fire, disregard that. I have a block on it. Seek teleports you to people. They have to mana shield it. Shatter Flash is a little thing you can throw out, stuns them. And if you're inside of it, or if you jump at all, it goes downwards. And if you're in the explosion, you go invisible for a little bit. And then Judgment Strike, little quick guard break, puts your little passive on them, which I'll get to in 1 second. And then a little counter. And if they hit it, it knocks them back. And then your Q, just a little double jump, and your E is a dagger you can throw out that teleports you to them. Now, some basic things I want to go over are some base classes you can use. So for my personal preference, what I always use is Base Fist, as you can see by my Rain and my Heavy Uppercut. I love Base Fist. It not only has really good synergy with some World Seeker combos, but also it's just the easiest to use. You don't have to sweat it. And there's no parameters, so you don't have to use specific weapons. You can just use it on anything you want, right? But a couple other things you can go. If you like base sword, there's a weapon in the game, Wind Shrouded Sheath. Or, not Wind Shrouded Sheath, that's a relic. It's a Wrought Silver Sword. It's a little sword thing. It's pretty cool. Good weapon. I wouldn't call it horrible, but yeah. And then it has like a crit variant too. Like it has this, but it also has a variant when you have multiple speed boosts. Let me see if I can show you it here. Then it does like this barrage thing and knocks people up, and you can kind of combo out of it. You just gotta get creative with it. So if you like base sword, you can use this as well. And last but not least, obviously you can use Scholar Mage base class if you like spells like Chill, Scorch, Radiance, Pull Set, whatever you want to use. Mana Pull. Obviously you can't use God spells, but that's okay. So those are the main three you're gonna be wanting. You can go Alchemist too, I guess. Can't say I've seen too many people do it, but that's always there as well. I don't think there's currently any dagger spear hybrids in the game, so you can't do anything about that. As well as gun. There's no gun dagger. So stick to the three for sure, one of those three. But me personally, I stick with Base Fist, and we'll get into that in a little bit. And just a little basic thing as well, if you guys didn't know. A base dagger, you do more damage from behind. So I did 6.23 there, 6.92 there. So it's not a lot, but it's there. Just keep that in mind. Oh, and then last but not least, the passive on World Seeker. If you land a final M1, you apply a mark on them. And this also happens when you land your Judgment Strike. You apply a mark on them, as well as your Seek, I believe. You Seek, and then you do damage, and it marks them. Okay? So what this mark does, if you haven't noticed, so an M1 is going to do 6.53, but if I do it on something with a mark, going to do more, right? So the mark, I think the number is 12%. I'm not 100% sure on that. But basically, that's what it does. It's more damage. And it also has a hidden function if you're not aware of. If somebody's marked, if you land another move, not another move that marks, some moves, Seek, while they're marked, does these aftercuts. And they all do true damage, right? The aftercuts do true damage. As well as your E-Spec does this. Aftercuts when they have a mark on them. And I think it's just those two. But it's very important to know, as well as those aftercuts apply extra stun. So, for example, on your E, it doesn't stun a lot, right? It doesn't stun a lot at all. Let me go back to the Secret Rapier real quick here. But if you do it with the mark on, the stun is noticeably different, and you can actually combo start with it. Oh, and one more thing that applies to your mark is your counter. I can't really show you here, but if you counter somebody and land them with a little slash after, it marks them as well. And we'll get into some tech with that later. But that is pretty much the build crafting section. Relic wise, really do whatever you want. You can go a lot of things. You can go poison, you can go viral enchant on your weapon and go poison builds, or you can go hemophilic, and with gut strike bleeding and all this, you can go bleed builds. And my personal favorite build is full damage. I like to go full damage. I like to do the most damage, take the most damage. I like building glass cannon. In my opinion, it's fun. If that's not your play style, find what suits you. There's plenty of armor relics. I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there as well that'll get more into detail about those. But specifically for this video, I'm going to be showing some of the more damage-oriented builds. First thing first is going to be penetration. Now, if any of you watched my armor penetration guide video, I mentioned this briefly. But you can build a lot of pen. So, here's what you can do. So right now, I'm going to pop up a few relics on screen that are some of my favorite for various builds. I interchange them a little bit. But mainly for the one I'm talking about here is Wind Shrouded Sheath. This relic, basically what it does is you get speed boosts. The speed boosts, in turn, help you do more damage in the form of penetration. It's the simplest way to put it. So that's the build I'm going to be using today, just to show you that. But for the remainder of the build crafting section, just keep in mind some of these core relics. I always love Power Glove, usually on just every build, no matter what, just because it's a good relic, and I think the World Seeker Rapier is a very good crit that you'll like using, so it's nice to have it on a lower cooldown and doing more damage. But some others, Marcus Searing is good if you have Scorching on your weapon, you like fire damage. Serrated Bracelet, if you're building pen, it also bleeds, and some other things. Experiment with yourself. I can't tell you what the best build is or what fits you best, but these are some of my favorites for a couple various builds. But definitely go out, explore, make your own builds. That's the important part. But the main part of the build is Base Fist, which if I haven't extended on yet, we'll get into in the combo section. So here in the combo section, we're going to start off with some basic stuff. Long story short, your main combo extenders in World Seeker, especially if you're Base Fist, is Slice and Rain. Okay, so some basic combos you can do. M1 into Slice, right? It's almost true, and I don't personally use manual casting, but if you use manual casting, it is true. You can make it true if you do it very fast. So assume it's true, because I promise you it is, but just look at the green. Even though it's not fully true because I'm on automatic casting, this is a short little true combo you can do with Slice, just M1 Slice, right? See, it was almost true even there. And then also M1 Rain, which is why I like Base Fist. Now, if you combine these together, what you can do is do something like this. And you can see the second half of that was fully true. M1 into Slice is a little difficult on auto skill casting, which is why I recommend manual, but at the end of the day, it's whatever. It's up to you. If you're comfortable on auto casting like I am, do that. It's perfectly fine. Now, both these on a very short cooldown, only a whopping 14 seconds each. Or actually, this is on 13. So they synergize really well with each other, so every time they're up, you want to be looking for short combos like that. It's very important to just be M1 Slice, M1 Rain, and just cycling that. And it's a lot of free damage, and you can you're playing a very mobile class with the double jump, the E-spec, all this stuff. Sorry, I'm the low gravity, I'm avian. So it's very important to cycle these moves. That's a basic combo. Now let's get into something a little more complex. So for something more complex, what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to take some of our other moves into account. So Seek is unreliable most of the time. If you use this, sometimes people will mana shield it, right? A lot of the time, it's pretty reactable. As you get against better and better players, it won't work very well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw it in a combo. And now, this is the main World Seeker combo. If you're on Base Fist, this is what you're gonna wanna do. And it may be hard to keep up, but we're gonna go step by step, okay? So the first thing you're gonna wanna do is Divine Punishment, right? Divine Punishment throws you up into the air. And what a lot of people don't know is if you M2 after you land Divine, it down slams them. You see that? You can combo start with that. So let's keep up, all right? So first thing we're gonna do, we Divine Punishment, M2, and then we uppercut them, right? That's the start of the combo, okay? And I promise this is not hard. It will not be a lot of steps, okay? We're almost there. So after you uppercut, then what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna crit, and then you're gonna wanna seek. And this is exclusive to the World Seeker Rapier. I don't know what weapons exactly can do this with 100% stun on it, but I know there's a good bit that can do it, but I like World Seeker Rapier just the best. I think it's a good weapon, and it has the extension of that with this combo. So going back through what we've learned so far, we Divine, we M2, we uppercut, we crit, and then we seek. And look at that. Fully true so far, right? So let's keep it going. So next, after we seek, we're going to heavy uppercut. As you can see, stuns as well. And then after we heavy uppercut, we're going to control and left click in the air, which will do the down slam. Okay. And then we're going to move past and aerial M1 them as well. And it still stuns them even further. And the hitbox on the down slam is very long. You can see right there, it's very wide, so you can be lenient with it. Just make sure you're getting distance so you can keep up with the ragdoll. So you need to go like heavy uppercut, down slam, aerial M1, and you can true combo out of that, right? So let's break that into our combo that we've learned so far. So we're gonna go Divine Punishment, M2, uppercut, crit, seek, heavy uppercut, down slam, aerial M1. All right. And seek obviously applies the mark as well. So it's very good. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to combo off of that. So let's go back to what we learned again. And remember how I told you you can M1 seek, M1 rain? Look at that right there. Perfect. Entire true, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to combo end with that combo. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to run through the combo one more time together, okay? So you're going to Divine, M2, uppercut, crit, seek, heavy uppercut, down slam, aerial M1, M1 slice, M1 rain. And there was a little bit of green because I'm not on manual, but that's okay. And look at that. It was almost entirely true, and it was a lot of damage. I can tell you that. And also, if you can get mix-ups against your enemy, you can extend off of it too. Now, here's a little bit more tech. Back to the basics of World Seeker. If you didn't know, like as you just saw earlier, seek, and then you do a little bit of damage, applies the mark. Now, what does the mark do? The mark gives you a little bit more damage. As you do, I'm doing 6.28 right now, as you can see. But without it, I'm doing 5.6. So it increases your M1 damage by, I think, not M1, sorry. It increases all of your damage by 12%, I think is the exact number. Don't quote me on that. So it does that, and then it also has special interactions that we're going to get into. So Seek applies this mark, Watchful Counter, which I'll show you later. When you land that, it applies the mark, as well as your Judgment Strike. Judgment Strike also applies the mark. Now, other than the damage, what does the mark do? Well, if you Seek somebody with a mark on, they get these aftercuts, which not only do damage, but if you can tell, increases the stun. So let me E-spec here, and it only does 10.78 and a little bit of stun, right? You can tell it was not a lot of stun. It's a very, very small snippet. You're not really going to be able to do anything with that, right? But if you have a mark on them, now look at what it does. Now look at that. Now you can combo start off of it. And this has a little bit of tech with Watchful Counter, which we'll get into in a little bit. But for now, let's get back into the combo. So one last time, this is what the entire combo looks like. And this is what you really want to master on World Seeker if you're going base fist, and which is why I love base fist so much. But there's combos similar to this that you can do with both Scholar Mage and Sword. You know, it's up to you. Whatever base you go, it's really up to you. But I prefer definitely sticking to one of those three, maybe Alchemist, if you really want to. So let's run through it one more time. Divine, M2, Uppercut, Crit, Seek, Heavy Uppercut, Down Slam, Aerial M1, M1 Slice, M1 Rain. And look at that. Almost entirely true, and it is entirely true if you do it very perfectly. And even if it's not entirely true, very difficult to get out of. Very, very difficult. So, you really want to master that combo. It's very important to learning this class. And I think that just about wraps up the combo section. So first things up in the tips and tricks, remember that you have a double jump. No matter what race, no matter if you're running Cloud in a Bottle, because of World Seeker, you have a double jump now. And this double jump, not only is it good to be annoying and stay out of people's face, but you can combine it with the slide jump that you have to stay in the air for even longer. And you can just hop over people's heads, you can be annoying, be unpredictable, right? Be unpredictable with your aerials, unpredictable with everything. You can double jump, slide down, uppercut behind them, whatever. Get creative with it. Make sure you're using this, because not only is the double jump good, but also, because this is a Q, this is your dash, this gives you iframes. You get iframes when you double jump. So it's good to, really good to get out of scenarios. So here, right here, we have a friend of mine. He's gonna help me showcase some stuff. So obviously, if you Seek and somebody mana shields it, you're gonna get ragdolled towards them, right? So here's a little tech you can do. If you haven't noticed, when you Seek, it goes towards where you're looking, not specifically towards them. So what you can do to avoid getting punished is you can Seek, but then instead of doing that, you turn around while you do it, and it knocks you away. And it stops you from getting punished. So it's a very good tech to use to avoid being, you know, punished at all. Just there's no negative thing you will lose from just throwing it out, you know. So always just make sure you're looking away from them. It's a good tech to use. And we'll move on to the counter here. Okay, so here we are. As you can see, when you land the counter, it marks, as we showed previously. And what we talked about is the E doesn't stun a lot, but after the counter, you can see they get ragdolled backwards very far, but your E, when it lands on somebody, teleports and stuns them for longer when they have the thing on them. So what you can do is right after you land the counter, spam your E, and you can do a combo like this, if that makes sense. And I'll show that one more time for everybody. So after you land your counter, you spam E, and then you can combo out of your counter. And it's very good. So that is another major tech you should be using. And other than that, I think that about wraps it up. So thank you all so much for watching. If you have any more questions, please drop a comment. I will try my best to answer them. And if there's anything you want me to describe in even further detail, maybe I'll make another video about that. Just let me know in the comments. Shout out Ijazane, Queen Milestone for helping out. And see you guys all in the next one.